A lot of people ascribe a series of high-octane traits to the great entrepreneurs they see. They see them as passionate and ambitious and driven and think that tells the whole story. But the entrepreneurs I've found that exhibit greatness draw attributes from seemingly contradictory worlds. They're arrogant but humble. They're stubborn and flexible. They're restless, at the same time they're extremely patient. They conceptualize things at the macro level, but can talk about the most micro details. They're aggressive and conservative. Let's drill down in greater detail into each of these. Arrogant and humble. When you start a business and believe that you can disrupt the existing way of doing things, that very act is arrogant. The idea that you think you're going to be first amongst your peers is an act of arrogance. And yet, we want to see humility in a great entrepreneur. We want to know that you appreciate how far it is you have to travel, that you appreciate how under-resourced you are. Stubborn but flexible. If you start a business, the first people you're going to hear from are the ones that tell you it can't be done, the naysayers. They'll give you all the reasons you shouldn't be doing this or all the reasons you'll fail, and if you're not stubborn, you will quickly fall by the wayside. And yet, most businesses don't look anything like their business plan 6 months after they get going. So somewhere along the line, these stubborn entrepreneurs find a way to pivot. And not just once, but most great entrepreneurs pivot repeatedly. So great entrepreneurs need to navigate between knowing when to stay the course and knowing when to be flexible. Restless but patient. Great entrepreneurs want everything done yesterday. The marketing plan, the sales plan, the product should have been built yesterday. But we know that great businesses aren't built in a day, a week, even a year. Great businesses can take 10 years to be built. So we want to hear from entrepreneurs that we believe will demand immediacy, but have the patience to stick with their business over a very long period of time. Macro and micro. This goes to the ability of an entrepreneur to be a great communicator. We want to hear from entrepreneurs that can contextualize almost every concept that they share with us. Whether it's the feature or set of functionality in the context of the company's mission, or the company's mission in the context of the space or the vertical and the future direction that it will take. And yet, we also want the entrepreneur to communicate in the most granular fashion the micro details, how the marketing campaign works, or how the product or technology is built. And finally, we want to hear from great entrepreneurs that can be aggressive and conservative at the same time. We expect our great founders to talk in grandiose terms with bravado about what they're going to accomplish. But we also need to know that the great entrepreneurs can delineate between when they're speaking as a salesperson and when they're communicating a baseline projection that we can attach great credibility to. We connect with entrepreneurs that demonstrate these high-octane traits that are bold and passionate and ambitious. But nobody wants to work for or work with or invest in CEOs that only demonstrate these traits. We want to know that they're also humble and flexible and patient. And we want to know that in spite of the fact that they can share with us the most grandiose dream, that when they tell us something that's more conservative, we believe it to be credible. Entrepreneurs that are able to navigate these different worlds are the ones that often attract the most attention and are ultimately the most successful.